Black House is the story of a man returning to his roots. Finn MacLeod, 36-year-old detective inspector in the police force in Edinburgh, sent back to the island of his birth, the remote Outer Hebrides of Scotland that he left 17 years previously, and has never returned. For him, returning to investigate this murder is a journey of self-discovery, a journey into his past, those decisions he made in his life that have left him full of regret, and rediscovery of his lost love, the love of his life that he somehow managed to lose. The islands of the Outer Hebrides, being geographically where they are on the most northern and western part of Europe, they are assaulted by the Atlantic winds that sweep across nearly 3,000 miles of ocean uninterrupted and absolutely devastate the island. There are no trees, there are no bushes, everything is open and exposed to the elements. The weather changes every few minutes because of the strength of the wind, but there are fabulous beaches, there are most wonderful cliffs, dramatic landscape, but forever you have the wind. The wind never stops. The wind is the most constant factor on the island. It is what shapes the character of the people and determines the culture and the nature of the lifestyle that is lived there. This takes me right back to the setting for my book, the island of Lewis. Although the culture is Gaelic, the history is Celtic. Celtic people who have been there for thousands of years and erected stones just like this. Wow. It's an extraordinary connection to come all this way from the far northwestern corner of the island of Lewis to the middle of the Czech Republic and find this connection between the two Celtic cultures. It's difficult to imagine setting a story in a place like this, which is kind of modern and soulless, without history, without culture, provides all kinds of commerce, meeting the demands of our desire to spend the money that we earn. It doesn't meet much else, really. The criteria of a place like this is making money, and there surely has to be more to life than making money. Certainly, you don't become a writer to make money. Unless you're very successful. I've been lucky to be quite successful, but I've been very fortunate to be able to make a living as a writer for nearly 40 years. A London bus. It's redolent of a time of my life where I ran away from home, my home in Glasgow, and went to London, and London buses were everywhere, of course. It's the iconic symbol of London and has been for many decades. And now you have children in a shopping arcade in Brno in the Czech Republic playing on a London bus. It's interesting. I have heard people who were born in the 50s describe their childhood in shades of brown, a sepia world. I grew up in the 60s and 70s and my childhood was purple. Iki. We lived in what was known as a White House, about half a mile outside the village of Crobost, on the extreme northern tip of the Isle of Lewis. The White Houses were built in the 20s of stone and lime or concrete block. They were built to replace the old black houses. The black houses had dry stone walls and thatched roofs and gave shelter to both man and beast. I guess a bar can be like an island, somewhere people go to escape, a refuge from the world, a place where they can drown their sorrows when they're surrounded by a sea of misery, as some people's lives are. Winters on the island are long and hard. There's very little light. It doesn't get light till about 9:30 in the morning, and it's dark by about 3:30 in the afternoon. So in those long, cold, windy, dark nights, people get depressed. Bars are solitary places. Sometimes they're convivial. People meet and get drunk together, have a good time. But I guess always there's a sense of an island being a place of, a bar being like an island, a place of escape. So they're interesting places. I'm not unhappy to be there myself. I am not an island. No man is an island. In the words of John Donne, the famous English poet, no man is an island entire of itself. Every man is a piece of the continent, part of the main. Any man's death diminishes me, because I am involved in mankind, and therefore never send to know for whom the bell tolls. It tolls for thee.